Here's something you don't see very often. What happens when several highly skilled riders get together at the Ride Like a Pro course? Well, you get this. Notice how those bikes are swinging and swaying from side to side. We are aggressively turning the handlebars. That's my wife Donna in the lead on the blue bike. Behind her is tiny little Marianne Hamilton, a little 110-pound girl, whipping the bike around with the ease of a child's toy. Notice how nobody is hitting any cones. That's because we're turning the handlebars quickly from side to side and getting that motorcycle to dip. That's what it was designed to do. It does not want to turn when it's straight up. This is what it should look like. Here's the offset cone weave with an entire group of riders going through, all highly skilled. Notice it looks like a snake as they twist and turn through here. There's no straight part to this exercise. The motorcycle doesn't want to turn straight up. This exercise has you going from full lean in one direction to full lean in another, so when you have to do that same thing out on the road, you won't fear it. You'll be able to do it because you've practiced it. It's a wide variety of motorcycles as well, from Gull Wings, Indians, Harleys. The techniques are the same for all motorcycles. Here's the intersection set up at 24 by 36 feet. That's my wife Donna. Behind her, Marianne Hamilton and Victoria Pierce. There's Tim Hamilton and Ken Milhato. And that's Jay Calley. He's on a DCT Gold Wing there. And bringing up the rear is my doctor, as a matter of fact, Ivan Diaz. It looks beautiful when you're doing it right. Notice how the motorcycles, again, even in this exercise, are never going straight. They're turning in one direction or another. There's no straight part to the Ride Like a Pro course, and that's because anybody can go straight. Having the ability to lean, turn, and swerve quickly will save your life out on the road. In this video, I've got 3 women, my wife Donna, Marianne Hamilton, and Victoria Pierce, and they're performing the figure 8 in one of the legs of the intersection. The X that they keep crossing over is their focus point. Every time they cross over it, they need to turn their head and eyes and look back at it. If you look closely, you can see the extreme head turns. The faster and further you turn your head and eyes, the sooner you'll get to put that front tire exactly where you want it to be. This is 24 foot wide and the leg is 48 foot long, but they're not using all of the space available. They don't have to. They've got the skills to cut it short. And as you can see, once again, it looks pretty when you're doing it right. So I get all the way to the green cone. I turn my head over my left shoulder. Now I turn my head to the right. My head turn comes just before I enter the gate. I don't want to linger on that green cone, because if I linger on it, I'll wind up hitting it. Circles through this exercise. I turn my head nice and I try to find that green cone again. Now I can see it. There's no straight part to a circle, so that means my head is always looking over one shoulder or the other. It's not a double take. I don't turn my head and eyes twice. I turn it one time, constantly looking over my shoulder for the place I want to put that front tire. In this case, it's right back through that gate. Little pressure on the rear brake. I'm in that sweet spot of the friction zone. Barely fluctuating that clutch, barely doing it. If I move that clutch, I move it maybe 1/8 of an inch. It's just a feel you have to develop. You develop that feel by practicing. these exercises and techniques can be done two up, nothing changes. If you normally ride with a passenger, you better be able to do this two up. That person's life depends. That person's life depends on your ability to ride just as good two up as when you're by yourself. Not much for the passenger to do. Stay straight up. Allow the motorcycle to lean, look the same way as the rider is looking. Should be just as good turning to the right as you are to the left. If you're not, that simply means you need to practice more to the right than to the left. Here in America, since we ride on the right side, most of your U-turns will be to the left, but you should practice in both directions.